Better yet, who would a clever bet do? Throw some letters at you, throw the fella at you. Sign up for this jungle, married to marijuana. Yeah, the ride's long, but shorty the drive stronger. From the hood, you can tell swiper stop swiping, but you weak, he coming back. Things striking like lightning, shocking and twisted and biting. When writing on the rise, man. Promoted from a private to a
we
fight.
ready for war.
What's good with you
I got T-check identification. I forgot I had this. Man, my favorite joint. Back then, I used to take a lot of pride in buying shit the day that it came out. So I remember the day I started ninth grade. First day of high school. I actually caught it the day before it came out because the Wiz. Back before shit used to come out on Fridays. So this is a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember they had it at the Wiz. You remember the Wiz?
Nah.
Bro, the Wiz was a fucking electronics store. And they always had, I don't know why they had their tapes for the low. They always had their shit for the low. And I bought this shit the day before I had to start ninth grade. And I walked up in there and my head was fucking blown off. Fucking with this shit right here. I put it in the tape in the Walkman, had that shit on the way to school. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
Those were times.
This shirt, Big Low, I think it's from Richmond, made music. It's funny because I was trying to decide what shirt to wear. It was either this shirt or my Montgomery Brawl shirt. I thought would be funny because of what the topic was. But then I found out, I remember, like, oh yeah, this dude, he was a white rapper also, so hey, fuck it.
You said we're gonna touch on at some point hometown favorites, and
I can't wait.
it was, I don't really have a whole lot of those, but shout to RadioB for sure. His project, The Internet Is Fake. That shit is real. That shit is real tough, man.
Where'd you get around to that? How'd you end up there?
Well, he promotes his shit pretty well, and I finally got around to listening to it. I'll admit that I don't really like RadioB's beat choices at times. I don't know. Huh?
So you got a little Nas in them, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I
think that's low key Nas slander. I wish he had Nas's beat selection. I don't really I don't know. I don't vibe with a lot of his beats, but I did listen to this joint. I try to make an effort to listen to his joints either way because he's just so nice. And he's saying some real important shit on radio. On The Internet Is Fake. Like this is important work, man. And there's a book by Chris Hayes, who's a MSNBC host. He hosts a 8:00 show, 8:00 pretty prime time, and he has a book about how the number one commodity in the world right now is our attention, right? And how basically every major corporation, every billionaire corporation, every influencer, everybody is brawling for our attention, and a big part of that essentially is the algorithm, and of course, the album is self-explanatory, talking about the internet is fake, and a lot of what he's talking about is the algorithm. So I actually hit him on Instagram, and he doesn't know me from a can of fucking paint. He might know my account, like, oh, I know that dude or whatever. But I hit him, and he hit me right back, and we had like a real quick conversation about how he needs to read that. I was like, you need to read that book, and if we can get your shit in the hands of Ari Melber, he might get, you know what I'm saying? Because Ari Melber know about all the rappers. I was like, if Ari Melber hears some of these bars, we might could get your ass on MSNBC.
Yeah, Radio's, like I said, I rock with Radio, so I check out all his projects. Radio's last 3 to 4 projects, I think, has been themed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think from Jesus Never Wore a Suit, definitely All Art Ain't Pretty. It was definitely thematic. Forget the one that was in the middle. I think it was the one that was before Internet Is Fake. And shout out to Radio because he actually invited me and Jay to the listening party for it at the Black Museum in Richmond, which I've never been to. Just like a whole bunch of birds in one stone. But
he's
yeah,
doing so much.
Dope.
He's doing so much dope shit in the city.
And then give you dope projects with meaning to them, which is so
I can't think of anything more relevant of any project that anybody has out, and I mean it. Any project that anybody has out, major or not, that's more relevant than what he's talking about on the internet is fake. And let's make sure we clip this motherfucker and put, because I will be posting this shit immediately and tag him on it because he really deserves a lot of credit for picking that topic, being so observant about it, and the rhymes and everything that he's saying about it is honestly was probably easy for him to rap about because the shit is in our pocket every day, and it's you literally get constant inspiration for how fake the internet is. So shout to him, man. That's a dope record.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Like I said, you usually start the conversation. Now, I guess I want to irritate you real quick. Have you heard this this Doggystyle's Better Than Illmatic tape?
No. This is this like is this the same as Jim Jones is more legendary than Nas type shit? What are we talking about?
No, honestly, no, it's not. And I would say this saying that I'm a big Nas fan. I'm definitely not. I've came around to being a big Nas fan. I'll say that. I'm definitely not a Snoop fan. That was before whatever he did, and that was all I like is all I ever liked is Doggystyle. Like that's that. But when you get in, it's not an outlandish conversation when you actually start having a combo.
I think that's true. I think that's accurate. That it's not an outlandish conversation. You can't compare the two from an impact standpoint. I don't think because if you would have said Doggystyle came before the Chronic and then said that, maybe you could say that. But because the Chronic came first before Doggystyle, I think from an impact standpoint, that's a big boost for Nas's case. But Doggystyle is an incredible record, like for sure. It's less insulting than maybe my first reaction to it, just because, like, I just every year we have to relitigate Illmatic over and over again. It's like,
I mean, that's hip hop though. Every year you gotta, I mean, I think that's part of being a fan of somebody or music. You have to get back on your high horse and talk about what you fuck with.
It's the same people that constantly are trying to knock down Jordan's legacy and knock down LeBron's legacy. I feel like it's the way that we're gonna misremember LeBron's legacy over the next 20 years. I'm already mad. I'm already upset at how we're gonna try to, relitigate that. But like stop trying to change our minds from 1994.
Yeah.
Like we can't go back to 1994. We decided in 1994 what the fuck this is. Stop trying to change our mind. But I will tell you that Doggystyle, if you want to say that Doggystyle is Dr. Dre's best work, I'm not going to argue with you. Like, Doggystyle is fucking incredible, like, from start to finish. And then they have the record that didn't make the cut on is it the CD that it's not on it, or if it's the tape that's not on it? The will all the real G's please stand up and all the others fall? And if you don't give a fuck about a bitch, then you're rolling with the roll. Like that one is not on. It's either not on the CD or it's not on the tape. And they sampled Isaac Hayes' "The Look of Love" before Reasonable Doubt did. And this shit is tough. Like, I remember that shit not being on. I forget which one it's not. I think it's on the tape and it's not on the CD because I remember the song and I always had tapes back then. Okay. So I think, but Doggystyle is incredible, and I'm not arguing about Illmatic. Y'all could argue all you want to, but that's all. Right,
one more thing before we get into this week's drops. You was talking about bars. I was thinking like maybe every week we can bring in our favorite bar from the week because we listen to music throughout the week. Something catches you off guard. Try to remember that for the show. And
can I say a quick one?
Hell yeah, because I did the same thing before giving it out there. Go ahead.
And it's not even like it's not even a bar like that. I've been chuckling about this shit all week. I finally heard Cardi B's "Outside" record. She says she's clearly trying to get back at Offset. She says might let him dunk this pussy like he dunks the ball. I swear to God,
But
I
it's
was dying. I was dying because I'm trying to think if that's my girl, if that's my baby mom's, and she's telling people that she might let a basketball player dunk her pussy like he dunks a basketball.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, she's so rude. That's just so uncouth.
Oh shit. All right, I guess on the other side of that, I just happened to listen to Lupe's new song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This nigga said, I foresee like I live next door to four. No, I foresee like I live next door to 4B. Like
No,
just
that's funny.
like just random like just random cleverness though. Like
He's so dope with that shit. Yeah, that song is pretty cool. He's arguing with people online about how he's making AI music, and he's like, yo, just for the record, like just so that we can get ahead of this now, like I'm not making AI music. Like I think because he's producing it, like he's putting out a deluxe version of Samurai, and I think he's doing the beats, and he did the beats for this the SOS record.
mhm.
And I saw people in the comments that he's arguing with about this shit being AI. He's like, I'm not making AI, just for the record. Like that's not this. And one thing about Lupe is he's gonna get petty with people in the comments.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I didn't know what the fuck that shit was about, but that's happening. So um, yeah. Hold on, let me. I got some notes here, of course.
Yep.
Um, so one thing I want to talk about very briefly that happened this week is the new Tyler record. Have you heard it yet?
Yeah, my daughter's a big fan of Tyler.
That's right, you said that. He deserves a lot of props. It's funny because I talked to my man Kyle. Shout to Kyle. He's listening to the show because Kyle has a few takes that he wants me to get off for him, and you're not gonna like one. He does not like J. Cole. He said that J. Cole is boring, and that his bars is not really like that. So I'm gonna make sure that you know that. Um, Kyle produced a lot of my records from back in the day. Kyle's a dope producer, and I asked him about Tyler. I was like, have you heard this? And he said the same thing I say. He said, I don't really rock with his shit like that. I don't know what it is. I'm not really a fan of it, but he deserves a lot of props because you got to respect what he's doing. And I think it's funny how like my gut feeling about these dudes is validated every time I hear their shit. Like every time I try to like somebody, I'm always even the Clips album that I really really like. My takes are always a little bit validated. Where I'm like, yeah, I don't really I don't really like love it, whatever. But this new Tyler, he's like created his own bounce.
Mm,
I don't know if you you can see in the way that he's promoting it. He's having these dance parties,
mm.
right? These premieres of the record where he's like, leave your phones, like everybody, nobody, no recording. Like he's making sure people don't have their phones, and he's like, I want to make sure everybody's sweating and whatever. Like he's clearly like inviting people to dance. That was like the vibe. So I made sure when I listened to it, I was trying to check for that. And he really has his own bounce on this shit. Like this isn't it's not like some or like whatever
Yeah.
whatever you would interpret to be as the thing that people dance to. It's not that, but it's very clearly a, like his interpretation of a dance vibe, of a party vibe, and it's dope. I
Mhm.
like it. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Like his projects never sound the same. That's why he always has a different look. Like this shit with the no shirt and the gold chain, and he's always got some kind of different vibe going. And this one has a new identity, and I really think it's dope. Like a summertime dance record, and inviting people to put down your phones and just get into the vibe. He's got Pharrell on there a few times. I think it's fire.
Yeah, my thoughts on Tyler. Um, I guess no, I'm not even gonna say the growth because I don't know because I joke with my daughter saying, yo, he just be yelling and cussing for no apparent reason. He don't really be saying nothing. And then as
Right.
soon as I said that the next song that came on was like a song about something, I was like, well, whatever, yo. But
Feel that way. Yeah, he's like
this
vocal for no reason.
I think understanding that this album was going in a different direction. I think a lot of time when I hear about an album and their rollout and how they have plans like this, it gives you a different way to just going into an album expecting it to be nice. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like usually my bar is you got bars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's have an explanation for what's going on. So understanding that, yeah, he was trying to go through a whole new vibe. He was throwing pop-up shows and in these random cities or whatever. I
Which
was
is
like, okay,
cool. Which is
I
dope.
can rock
Love
with it.
that.
Yeah. Because the project before this, I did like the rapping on it. I guess that's the one with drama, correct?
No, no, no. The project before this one was the one where he had the fucking weird mask. I forget what that shit is called. It's
Yeah,
got
Ego was for drama, and then something, and then this.
drama, which was Call Me When You Get Lost. That's what it's
Yeah, so
called. That's the one before the last one.
I really like that one. I really started rocking with him with Igor. So like I said, then I really liked the joint with Call Me When You Get Home. The other one and the one between that, I enjoyed it also. This one, I understand it was different. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And it's funny, so I text my daughter, like, yo, you listen to it yet? She's like, nah, I'm about to now. And then like 45 minutes later, she's like a 7 out of 10. I was like, that's kind of low. She was like, it's a 7. I was like, yeah, but 7 is average to me. She's like, that's not math. I was like, yeah, you're right. Well, that's me. Um, the sound went out, Dave. Sound went out. Yeah,
Oh, I
better.
think it was it. I feel like he's not going to give you anything less than that. Like a 7. Like a 7 is probably low for him. He's just not gonna be a 10 for me or a 9. Like I don't love his beats and I don't love his rhymes, like, but does he have the potential to be the nicest verse on a song with like real MCs? Yeah, he does. And can he give you a beat out of nowhere? Not out of nowhere. Can he give you a beat that's like the fireest beat on a record? Like he could do that too. Like and then when we talk about producer MCs at one point soon, we can't not mention them. Like you can't have them outside of your top 5 of producer MCs if you're
Whoa,
talking
whoa,
about
whoa,
dudes right
whoa.
now.
You're putting me on. I didn't know he makes beats like that.
Yo, he does all these beats. Yeah, man. Yes, yes, he does all. I want to say that I didn't check the track list for this particular joint, but yeah, yes, he does a lot of these beats, man. I
That's
mean,
a definite elevation. That's a definite elevation in my book. God damn.
yo, man, he's extremely talented. And one thing, I have a few verbal typos in this podcast. When I'll go back and listen, like last week, I said the one Alchemist Larry June project was the wrong shit. So I could be wrong, but I've seen the clips of him in the studio making his beats, and I'm almost positive. I mean, we could I could look this shit up right now. Matter of fact, let's look up while we're talking. I'm pretty sure that he produced this shit. He makes a lot of beats, and he has a sound too, that you can readily identify when you're listening to these joints. So,
Call Me If You Get Lost. That's the one that was in between the two.
Call Me If You Get Lost is the one before the last one.
Yeah, and not the
So
drama.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's look up the. I
Oh
always
no, he put out Cornucopia this year too.
That's the one I'm
That's
saying. Yeah,
damn.
Cornucopia. There you go. That's the one after Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah, and that was a project.
Let's see. Writers. Oh
Yeah,
man,
'cause
they got Chat Hugo on here.
my intro to him was Odd Future, so I wasn't really here for all that.
Producer, yo, it says that on Wikipedia, it says he's the only producer on this, on Tap the Glass. And that sounds about right. Like it sounds like him for sure. Yeah, he absolutely produces, man.
I salute to him on that. That's more props. Definitely.
If you're gonna list producer rappers, even if you don't love him, would you leave him off? Like, I don't think you can.
Now, no, now knowing that, no, especially with the amount of work he puts in and the I'm not gonna say character, but the artist that he is, nah, props to him. Like,
Right. And the yeah, I mean, yeah, he's dope. Like you can't, even if it's not my bag, like I'm not a hater. He's dope.
yeah, yeah. Homeboy Sandman put out an album.
Mm.
Um, was Sonny Jen or something like that? Let me get the dude name right. I ain't gonna do something like that. That's disrespectful. I was correct. Sonny Jim. This is like my fourth time seeing that name. So he's one of these producers.
Did you listen to it?
Didn't finish it because I
Mm.
was busy, not because I didn't like it. And because I was trying to get hype for something, and that's not it. Like he's bars, words, he's a topic. Like I'm here for that. I got a road trip, so it's perfect for that. But no, I didn't finish it. And there's only 10 tracks, which is kind of like what I like, especially when you put out 3 to 4 projects a year.
Right.
Give me,
Correct.
that 7 to 10 bag is good. Like when you find out it got 15, 16 tracks, I gotta be a fan of you, dog. Like I'm not going. I might.
And they better be hard, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to hear one whack shit if it's 15 of them. I'm gonna turn the shit off. Like, sorry.
Did you listen to PaulWall joint?
No, nah,
Not yet.
nah.
Yeah.
PaulWall is gonna be on my list regardless because he's fucking PaulWall. He's cool as hell, man.
Yeah.
I like PaulWall. PaulWall is not a dude that is invited to the cookout. Like you don't have to invite PaulWall to the cookout. He's just there. Like he's just,
You get there,
you know what I'm saying?
there,
Like people just mad if Paul don't come through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Paul.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like exactly. Paul's not even white. Like people don't even realize Paul Wall is white anymore. Like he's just a homie. You know what I'm saying? And I like him for that. I just like the way he moves around. I like how consistent he is. You know, I just think he's cool. You know, but we'll get into it. I would love to. We're gonna address the in a minute here the white rappers. I want you to tell us what it is about the white rappers that gives your affinity for them.
Which is funny. Let me ask this question first before we get to that. How do you make your list? Like how you end up? What's the process? I guess
the first thing I do is I go through my phone, and so if I don't have your shit on my phone, that says something. Like if I don't have one record of yours on my phone, like not one. I mean, Apple Music is free all day long. So if you know, and so they'll start there, and then I'm often reminded of shit that's not on my phone because of shit that I saw on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like most music that I literally can't live without is somewhere is saved in my Apple Music library. And so then that gives me the reminder, and then I just kind of sit with my thoughts a little bit just to try to see if I remember shit. Obviously, my process is flawed because we've had multiple conversations of who I think is the nicest, and I didn't mention MF Doom or Ab Soul, and I'm fucking really upset at myself for not talking about Ab Soul last week.
I'm definitely ready for the MF Doom convo.
We're gonna talk about producer rappers. Here's another one. MF Doom made all his own beats. And you know, talk about Tyler. Like if Tyler was sitting right here next to me, he would be like, "How the fuck didn't you bring up MF Doom?" MF Doom's a big Tyler inspiration. When they met at a concert. Like these dudes was geeking the fuck out, like fanboy in it. But yeah, that's my process. I just go through shit like that.
Well, yeah, mine's kind of the same. I just open up Apple and I actually go through my entire artist list.
That's what I do.
Alphabetically. Yep. From A to numbers, nigga. Like I go through it. And like you said, you're surprised by stuff that's not in your library. I'm surprised by rappers that I did not think about at all when it comes to whatever list we're working on. Like
I try not to start at A. Yesterday, I consciously started at the numbers because, like,
yo, that's crazy. We did the same exact thing. Like,
I keep starting at A, and then it's like, well, that's why you mentioned them first. Remember, I said you could tell I started alphabetically when I mentioned AZ.
Yeah,
because that's when I noticed it. I was like, you got to stop starting at
A. All right. My affinity for white rappers. I can't think of what it is because, sadly enough, it's not just with music. Like it's like Bill Maher is like one of my favorite actors for like years. Like
Bill Murray.
Yes,
that's hilarious. I love Bill Murray.
Just weird, like Michael Cera is one of my favorite actors for years.
Love him.
It's just weird.
You're 2 for 2 on white boys so far. I love him.
So preparing for this convo, I did try to think about why I like white rappers so much. I guess that's what it is. And this is before I went back and did the knowledge / homework on other MCs from back in the day, like Tribe Called Quest. And I never got into De La Soul, but De La Soul. Long story short,
funny.
Long story short, a lot of times white rappers tend to talk about regular ass shit that regular people go through, or seeing shit from the regular people's POV. So and that's why I said I went back and I'm like, oh no, Tribe Called Quest was doing this also. Like they were talking about regular, like back in the day, or most of my music was just tough guy shit. You know what I mean? And after a while, that got irritating.
Right.
Just since I'm not a tough guy, so to say. So it got irritating. But me being such a fan of Eminem has also messed me up where I will be a fan of a rapper just because he does a major thing with words
Mm-hmm.
and then realize like, oh, he ain't saying nothing though. What the
Mm-hmm.
fuck? Let me get out of here.
Right.
Like, so and they're very fucking technical. Like they tend to be very technical with their wordplay and structure and stuff like that. So that type of stuff, like this shirt, rappers ruin everything. It was during my phase of don't call me a rapper, I'm an MC.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was just like they're most times they're like very fucking I don't know, just that makes sense though.
Yeah, definitely. And I also agree with that fucking with the sentiment on that shirt. As another we find out another rapper that everybody loves is a fucking Trump fan. They said NBA that NBA young boy said some shit about how Trump he likes what Trump is doing. It's good for the youngins to see what Trump is doing. I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Like,
That's not surprising to me. Like
yeah, no, not at all.
a
He's
lot
a
of people that came out for
youngin.
Trump, artist wise, I don't think I was really surprised by any of them. I guess at 16 we don't have to get into is people that's in your I'm not gonna say circle, but people that you know, or even people that's on your friend list, IG wise. Like, oh, Trump supporter. That caught me off guard. More so the rappers.
It's that rappers are anti-establishment. Rappers are anti a lot of shit because of how they grew up and growing up in poverty and looking at the government as the enemy and but then a lot of them are also politically illiterate.
Mhm.
Like the fact that Jim Jones seems to be a big fan of Eric Adams. Like he looks like such a fucking clown every time he shakes his hand. Like it's like if you grew up in poverty in the projects and you grew up in impoverished housing and you grew up in defunded schools and you grew up with police that were harassing people and not being a part of the solution. Eric Adams literally represents all of that, and you're dapping him and smiling at him like he's your fucking daddy. Like,
That's just
stop it. Like he's literally the epitome of all that. He was a cop during all that shit, and everything that he represents now is that. So stop. You know what I mean? There's just so many rappers that just politically I don't think they know what the fuck they're talking about, and because you're young and rich, you don't really have to care. You're insulated from a lot of that shit.
I mean, not to go too far into that, but that's the entire plan. You get somebody ignorant and loud, and you just let them go ham. Like
Right.
that's their plan. So,
That's it.
like, because we have artists who are trying to get the correct political information out there, and you have to go through the weeds to find it. But that
Shout
shit
to
is
Bad
possible
Bunny.
anytime now.
Your brother brought up Bad Bunny for a
Yeah,
reason,
we
and
definitely
people
gonna hold
don't.
that conversation for him because that's
He
that's
will.
that's amazing. And then you talk
We
about
have to wait till he comes on to have that conversation because shout to him for bringing it up.
yeah,
Absolutely.
big facts, big facts. But yeah, white rappers. Like I said, we're not gonna talk about Eminem, but I definitely listen to Eminem on the way home. And that first album, dog. First of all, that second verse on Guilty Conscience,
Mm.
like I just realized why I was only 10 to 12 bars. Like it's like, yo, you can't be, yo, you can't be talking about that, dog. Like that's, yeah, yeah.
That record and that beat and the back and forth with him and Dre, and then
Just
like he's writing all of that shit and he's sort of orchestrating it.
the characters, the voice inflection, like it's just he just. I don't understand why people. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. First dude on my list because I want to make sure I say him before you do. Russ.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Try to say him before I do.
Look back, cause you let you set it off. I'm taking
You
over.
know Russ is on my
Yeah,
list.
Russ. Uh, Chump. Favorite projects. There's really a wolf that came out like 2017,
Mm.
but also Chump 2, which had a bunch of like other MCs on it.
Yeah.
These,
That's
I
the
mean,
one with Crooked Eye and all of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
he got a lot of Ransom on there. Yeah, it's some bars on there. Um, Losing Control was like the first song I heard, and it's funny because he comes, I guess, from that Drake school, where he does a lot of singing, a lot of
And
harmony.
he's good. I like his
Yes,
voice.
yes, he actually can.
And
He
he
actually
also
sing.
produces all his own shit, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Like,
And
and he
and
actually
it's
can
dope.
sing, and his bars are up there. Like, the only thing
Yes.
I don't like is that it gets repetitive, like his topics, as far as whining. Like, I have the world, but I'm sad and I'm smashing your girl. Like,
This
all
most
just
recent album is way too long and it's got way too many of those like I will tell you I had him on my list just because I think he's probably he's as talented as any white rapper that's out there, and you can include Eminem or anybody else. Like his talent level is up there, so I included him. But multiple times I've listened to this shit, his albums, and you can, it's very repetitive. It's a lot of whining. It's a lot, and I wouldn't say whining. It's just him and his truth. But I definitely, it was like
which is a
5 in a row.
phase I went. My bad.
Like,
Which is a phase I went through with Eminem also. Like after a while, I got tired of when it got to Encore, I was like, all right, I'm tired of hearing this whining. You could have made decisions by now. But yeah, that's my
Well, that's fucked up. I'm gonna say that's fucked up that you took him off.
Part of the game.
And you did it with intent, which you made it clear.
I put it out there, dog. Like you accept your friends with their flaws, and I'm gonna put my shit out there from the gate, dog.
Though we should note that this is not a fantasy draft, so I could say that Russ is on my list too. But I will, I will go with somebody who you might have on your list, which is ActionBronson. ActionBronson is, I love ActionBronson, man. He's so Queens. You can hear it in everything that he's in his cadence. And I personally, everybody probably thought that he sounded like Ghostface when he came out. That was kind of like the thing that got him attention. You sort of can't pick the thing that makes you go viral when you first come out. And I don't think he does that shit on purpose. Like, I think that's just his tone of voice, and also the way that he raps about food a lot, and has sort of had these abstracts, maybe sounding kind of bars. But I think ActionBronson is really, really dope. I love that he's a one of one as far as his. I don't think what he does is an image, like his persona. I don't think that's an image. I think that's just how he is. He's very outlandish with the shit that he says. I love I loved his stories and analogies. As I'm sitting at the Knick game with my feet on. He tells these funny ass stories that are not true, but also very much his personality. I love Big Body Bess, his homie. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, yo, I'm outside with 10 Dominicans. I got my shoes off, yo. Weeks, you know what I mean? Like he's hilarious. I love his connection with Alchemist. The joints that he made with Party Supplies is probably his best projects to me. What is it called? Is it called Blue Chips? I believe it's called Blue Chips. Yeah, both of those are super, super ill. And the cooking shit that he does is that's why there's nobody like him, because he's an actual chef and yeah, I just love everything he does. I love the way he moves around. I love the way he handled the Ghostface shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he really meant to diss Ghost the way that he did. Obviously, Ghost took it the wrong way because you can't say Ghost's name in any kind of way without him taking shit the wrong way.
Yeah, I gotta slow down over here.
Huh?
I gotta slow down over here with the Ghost slander.
Yeah, right. We don't want him to pop up.
He was one of the 12 that watch it this week, man.
Yo, we don't want him to pop out on us. But like the way that there was man, was there a funeral? It was something that they were at, that the Wu-Tang dudes were at, and the Wu guys confronted him, and I felt like he handled it the right way. Like, he didn't spaz out, he didn't overreact. I think he showed a good amount of respect, and I think he showed a good amount of standing up for himself at the same time, which is hard to do. Like, these dudes, I've said it before, these Wu guys are not a joke at all. And so he didn't look like he was pussy at all. He looked very big Queens the way he handled it. So I thought that was a nice little note. Like, yeah, this, he's a real cat. I like Mayhem Loren, so yeah, Bronson's my guy.
All right. My next guy, I don't know when I would get into the weeds as far as what you listen to, but I think you probably bumped across him. OT the Real.
Yo, he's yeah, I made sure I wrote him down. I haven't gotten into a lot of his music yet, but clearly he's dope.
He's dope. It's funny because I kept hearing it with Griselda. Yo, shout out to Ransom, who has put me on to so many artists.
Mm-hmm.
And he put me on to Griselda, who's put me on to so many artists.
Is OT Black Soprano family?
I believe so. That's the first project I heard was a Black Soprano joint. Right. But then you go into, like, he has projects. Like, these cats be putting like 2 to 3 to 4 a year. I think he got 3 on this year already.
Yeah.
What I mean? But yeah, and it's funny because I kept hearing him on Benny joints, and like the theme goes, Benny get washed on these tracks. Well, since you pointed it out to me, every time I hear somebody on Benny track or Benny on somebody track, Benny's getting washed.
He's getting rinsed, I'm telling you. And it's not that Benny's whack. It's just
Thank
that
you. It's
he's
like
just
this dude just showed
rinsed.
up to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the feature. But yeah, OT, yeah. Pale Horse. Pale Horse is probably my favorite one.
Mm.
Zombies from back in the day. And like I said, he got two of them out this year, and one comes out on the 1st of August. So
If you don't know, if you're from New York, you know white kids like OT that are more street than anybody you've ever met. Um, my man from Flushing, is it Flushing? Shout to my man Montini. Montini's a Sri Lankan Indian cat from Queens with a fucking earring on his tongue, and he'll smack the shit out of you and everybody else that came with you. And I was in college with him, and when Montini's homeboys from Queens came up, I swear to God, they came through like a bunch of wild fucking banshees, a bunch of a bunch of white dudes from Queens, a few Italian cats. These motherfuckers were so lit. They got into like 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? Like they came through with mad pills and shit. I was like, yo, that's who I think of when I think of OT. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
yo,
I don't usually go to white guys for my tough guy rap, but he's
he's it. He don't look like he's talking shit either. He looks like he knows what he's talking about.
he's from recollection. Nigga, like this is yeah.
So, so I'm gonna shout a dude who another dude like PaulWall that I didn't really listen to a whole lot, but I have an incredible respect for as far as his talent level and also his contribution is MacMiller.
Mm,
Shout to MacMiller, rest in peace. Um, Mac like Tyler is not exactly like my bag as far as the music that he makes.
mm.
But I think Mac Miller's another guy who's not invited to the cookout. He's just like if he doesn't show up, everybody's mad and blowing up his phone and make sure he comes through. He is the culture. Mac Miller, um, people like Smoke DZA, people like Vince Staples, people. There's
It
numerous
is.
Schoolboy Q. They will all tell you that Mac was vital to their careers. Vital. I wasn't ready for Smoke DZA with his Mac Miller stories, but Mac Miller was incredibly generous with his time. He was very successful. Obviously, he made a lot of money, and with that money, he wasn't outside. Like he was more. He was really like Alchemist too, like how Alchemist crib in LA. Like everybody comes to Alchemist crib in LA, like whether you're making music or not. Like, and I felt like Mac was like a real central point. Like everybody met up with Mac and fucked with Mac, and Mac put a lot of people on. Mac gave a lot of people opportunities, and Mac was dope, man.
Yeah.
Mac also produced a lot of his own shit. The
Hmm.
Larry Fisherman shit. Produced a lot of his own beats. Him and Earl Sweatshirt was really tight. And I felt like he was really getting into a different space. Like obviously lyrically, he was another one of these cats that lyrically the shit he was talking about was a little left for me, kind of like Tyler. But he absolutely was tough lyrically. He had bars for sure.
What's
And
funny to me is Kids. I love Kids. Like that album, I love that joint.
mm,
So I'm not gonna say I say I was sad by the pivot
mm.
from, just a different type of wave, more singing, more melody type joint. And then when I got into the project, I like, well, no, this is I like what you're doing.
He's a musician, man. He
Yeah.
was a real musician, and I think that what he was doing was just a genuine. It's what you don't get from Drake that people are so upset about is that you're not getting this progression.
Mm,
And when you're a musician, when you're really in this, eventually you progress to a different zone, because you're just you make so much music you can't make the same shit over and over again, and
mhm,
and so the swimming in circles, which the way I guess that's the way the project was supposed to go,
mhm.
swimming in circles, those two separate projects, he was pivoting to something different, and but you could also hear the sadness in,
Mhm.
in his shit, and and the way that he passed, obviously was super super sad. But MacMiller should belong on anybody's white rapper list, and a lot of people will tell you that Mac should be considered the greatest white white MC of all time, for a lot of reasons. I don't know if I will go there, but he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, when people start throwing around titles and labels and greatest, it kind of diminishes what they are. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. My next one, Marlon Crown.
Yo, man, I didn't know if you were gonna know Marlon Craft,
Yo,
man.
this guy,
He's dope.
most white rappers, they sound like they're white. It takes me a little while to realize, oh, that's Marlon Crown.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess by the second verse, he had to say nigga, like, let me say this is white, that type shit, you know what I mean? But he's
Yeah.
like, and again, he talks about regular stuff. He puts out hella projects. Like I really fuck with him. How We Intended, I think came out like 2019, 2018. Part of my favorite project. But and Funhouse Mirror,
Mm.
definitely. But all his projects are solid. All of them. You know what I mean?
They
It's
are.
everything. Like there's stories and skits, all that stuff. Like he's definitely a dope MC and a fire artist.
He's dope, man. I'm gonna give him all the props. I definitely have him written down here. I'm trying to be honest about like who I actually listen to and whatever. So let's see. Does Drake go on here?
That's funny because I was about to ask the same thing with Homeboy Sandman. Both of them have white nigga. Logic.
Right, right.
That's the logic list. When we come
I
out with
think
the logic
Logic
list,
definitely goes in this list, but Drake doesn't.
logic does not want to be on this list, dog.
I'm trying to just joke around. I'm getting my jokes off on Drake, and Logic, I guess. But Logic is white as fuck. I don't know what to say. He's incredibly nice. I just can't listen to him for any more than like 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm not. He's not
He
on
used
my
to put out
list.
EP.
Yeah, exactly. He's not on my list. Um, so I think I already talked about it. So I already talked about PaulWall. But I'll put just to put a bow on PaulWall. PaulWall is incredibly consistent as an artist. Um, he has a lot of legendary moments in hip hop music. His verse on "Still Tipping" is legendary. The way he put a bow on that shit. His I like his move. You know what I'm saying? like his verse on Grills, his verse on Drive Slow.
Mm.
Like it started to become a moment when PaulWall got on your shit. You know what I'm saying? And there's this authenticity to what PaulWall is. Out of all the people that we named, we haven't named anybody who's like of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
and like PaulWall's identity is like he's very much one of us. You know what I'm saying? Like more one of us than me. I'm not from the fucking hood like that. But he's almost like I say, he's not even a white boy. Like he's just PaulWall. You know what I'm saying? And he fits so seamlessly into Houston culture. He represents this so well. You know what I'm saying? And I like his fucking bars. Like back then is when I was first starting to like Southern rap. I didn't really understand. I was like, why the fuck are we always talking about your car and your candy paint? Like I don't understand. And then if you go down to Shockoe Bottom at 11:30 at night on a Friday and you see these dudes pulling up in their old schools and shit, outside of the venues or whatever, and you'd be like, okay, that's just kind of dope, actually. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you was a real cat out here getting money on the streets or getting money independently, and you're a young dude from the culture, you should be proud of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You should be proud of that shit. And if it was me, it probably would be my fucking identity. You know what I'm saying? And so I came to respect it a lot more. And when you listen to PaulWall shit, like his bars not whack at all. Like PaulWall has a level of consistency on what he's spitting and what he's saying. He's never going to be super lyrical, but he's never going to be trash. And I like that he has the joint with terminology. You know what I'm saying? And he fits in well with terminology. Those songs, he doesn't sound like the weak link spitting next to a dude who's incredibly talented. So shout to PaulWall, man. You a real one out here, and I salute him.
Right there, right there. My next one, Hometown. Kane.
Dope.
Yo, this guy.
He's the problem.
What, like when it comes to like bars, like I put him up against any one of these dudes. When it comes to like bars, like skills, like especially if we get into a battle type situation, like I
Yeah.
got to put him up there. But his like, yeah, and like I found out through him, of course through radio, you know, and all the joints he was doing with the battles and stuff. But then seeing he had a little run going where he was battling his newborn. Did you see any of those videos on IG? Oh my God, you talking about hilarious, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Just stuff that newborns be doing. Like, it is just like, and he's a battle rapper, so he's so clever with the words. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
he shows up, man. Whenever they do shit, he's on the bill.
yeah.
Like he's outside.
So I was surprised when I went to check out his projects, how like complete, what animal was that? How complete his projects were. This H2O joint that just dropped. Well, not just dropped, you know, I'm dropped a couple years ago, and it's all I guess it's based on water, or whatever. So a lot of stuff, it's like thematic. I'm real big on thematic projects. You know, what I mean, I guess because I heard so much music. So if you can stick on the theme and still be relevant for a long time, I really rock with it. But yeah, Kane, you can give props to Kane. Check him out.
And he's not anywhere on my list, and I didn't write him down. But I'm gonna give big love to FanRan.
Yes, yes.
Ran is nice. Ran's beats.
Producer, yeah.
Ran is the Richmond Alchemist. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like as far as not just for his aesthetic, because he's that too, but also his actual beats. You
contribution.
know, his contributions. Everybody fucks with him. Um, his um his um his sound, he's got that real dusty loop, that real, and I know for a fact that the reason he has that sound is because he's still using the fucking the MPC or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's still using that old school shit. He ain't gonna switch up. You know what I'm saying? I remember when God bless Chad, God bless the dead Chad, man. Like do you remember Divine Prophets?
Yes, yeah, hell yeah. Because I was a big fan
Chad,
of Chris, big fan of
yeah,
him.
yeah. CP, beneficial. Shout out to everybody. Chad was so nice, man. Chad was so nice. And Chad was like the brain hit Chad and Rand was like the brainchild as far as the beats.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They was the brainchild of all of it. I believe Chad was like the brainchild of all of the group or whatever. It seemed like he was like the front man of the group or whatever. Um, but Rand absolutely is keeping their legacy. Will always have their legacy cemented. He's always outside. I love his fucking flow. I love his flow. His bars is so crazy. He's always sought out. People are always working with him. And he's a real dude, man. I see him anytime I hit him. It's love. He always responds. I seen him at my job a few years ago. That dude is that shout out to that dude, man. It's always love when I see him. FanRan, if y'all haven't heard of him, pull up anything of his. Where that train wreck at?
Yeah. What's your fifth? Is that your fifth?
I think that was my fifth because
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I said
Okay.
Bronson. I said Mac, Bronson, Mac, Paul. Actually, no. I think is that my fourth? That might have just been fourth. Um, so there's a few on here that I was trying to decide. Jack Harlow's not whack, bro. I respect Jack Harlow. He's not whack, man. Like I know he's pop. Um, I think Jack Harlow deserves props for just being himself and being so being not having to switch up, not doing anything phony, not trying to be anything, like just being himself and really just rhyming. I have Bubba Sparks on here.
Mm,
Who Bubba had bars. Bubba, another one that like I think the people that shine through in hip hop period are the ones who are just being themselves, and the white boys who are not ashamed to do that is dope. I think Millie's is nice.
he
Millie's the
never
kid.
can make it through a project of Millie's. Is he tough? Is he tough guy rap?
Is
Or
he what?
is he
Yeah,
tough
yeah,
guy
yeah.
rap? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why. Okay, okay.
yeah. He is. Yes, I also can't make it through all of his projects, but I don't think it's his fault. I think it's just you know, I have to really like you to get to where I'm gonna listen to all your shit. But like, I think he's done enough of these appearances on radio shows and shit where you can see like that dude. He really spits. But I'm gonna give my fifth spot. I'm gonna give my fifth spot to Alchemist.
Okay. Wow.
Because Alchemist is also a rapper. And Alchemist. So I'm gonna throw him in there. You know, he has projects, and he's not rapping on these projects. Like, he's rapping on these shits. And he's rapping next to real dudes that spit. He had that group called the Hooligans, which is really funny. You know who Scott Conn is?
Mm.
Scott Conn is James Caan's son. James Caan was in The Godfather, you know, legendary actor who passed, God bless the dead. And Scott Conn was, you seen Ocean's 11?
Mm.
You remember the brothers that used to
Yes, I
fuck
know
with
you're
each other
talking
all
about.
the
Yeah, I know
time?
you're talking about. Yeah,
So one of them's Casey Affleck and the other one's Scott Conn. So Scott Conn is the brother with the blonde hair, and the other one's kind of the nerd. That's Scott Conn. And Scott Conn and Alchemist were in a rap group when they were like teenagers called the Hooligans. And you can pull up a clip of Alchemist giving an interview on like Rap City or some shit like that. And really, like, young Alchemist is the same as old Alchemist. Like, he was talking about how some a really smart take for a young kid, like, yo man, like, they want to, about how, like, you know, they want to divide us, and that's how they want to silence people like us and silence hip hop culture. Like these kids are like, Scott Conn was like the son of a Hollywood legend, like, and Alchemist was like his homeboy neighbor. Like, these, I assume that these were well to do young kids, and for Alchemist to come up the way that he did, you know, means is it's Alchemist is truly hip hop. He's identified himself very early on in the game. Again, he's another one that he is the culture. Like, he's not visiting, he's not interpreting it, which I think is what people
Mm.
kind of think about Drake. He's not interpreting the culture like Alchemist. Alchemist has made himself one of the most legendary hip hop producers of all time. He belongs on any list. And a lot of times he's up there spitting with Rock Marciano, and I'm like, yo, man, did Rock write your shit? And then I remember, like, yo, Al's been spitting since he was a teenager, so maybe he is doing his own shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Al is doing his own shit. He's got his own aesthetic, his own vibe. You know, the shit that
Uncle
he did
Al.
with Hit Boy, huh?
He sound like Uncle Al on tracks, like when he's
He
flipping
does,
tracks.
yeah,
Okay.
he does. And the shit that he did with Hit Boy was real dope.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't no slouch on that mic at all. So I'm gonna put Al as my guy.
My fifth one. Uh, I don't know because it's between a dude named Rich out of Atlanta from back in the, I can say back in the day, but like 2010s, that era or whatever. 2014, he put out an album called Next to Nothing.
Hmm.
He had a single with Mike Ponsner and B.O.B., which
Hmm.
was pretty big. I just like the flow, one of them rapid ass. I just like the flow. It's kind of between him or Iron Solomon, the battle rapper, because what he does,
I'm glad you mentioned him.
what
I
he
thought
does
about it.
in he does in the ring is crazy, bro.
He took Jin off the map.
Yeah.
He eliminated Jin. Like, you did not hear from Jin after that.
Yeah. So my honorable mention would be I definitely did like Asheroth. I definitely love the college song because we was in fucking college. I definitely love that song.
Shout out to Asher Roth, man. Another
Little
cat.
I was
Nice.
a fan of Little Dicky, his project. He
Yep.
was definitely too white. Like definitely too white with the topics or whatever, but that's what you know
Lil
what you signed
Dicky's
up
in the
for.
lane that he belongs in, though.
Yeah,
That show
definitely.
blew the fuck up, and he's done really well. And I think that he's in the lane that he belongs in. He's a funny ass dude. He's a funny looking ass dude.
Yeah.
No, he's. I think he's where he belongs.
And my last honorable mention will be Lil White. He was from
I have
the
Lil White. I have Lil White.
yo, that smoke song. I used to play that all the time, dog.
Yeah, I can't front like I used to listen to him because that was back when I was, you know, I wasn't really up
Yeah.
on South shit. But I know who he is, and I absolutely put him on my list. Yeah. I mentioned most of the cast that are on my honorable mentions: Jack, Bubba, Millie's, I want to specifically say who is not on my honorable mentions, and that's Post Malone. Not a rapper. I shout to Rosenberg for flagging this way early. Rosenberg was like, "This dude's not from us. Like, this dude's not with us. Like, stop." Like, he every time he says something out his face, he makes it clear that he's not really fucking with hip hop the way that we fuck with him. And you know, I think that much is because he's incredibly talented. But whatever, I left him off the list. Shout to
Rosenberg's name being mentioned in this list is hilarious.
Yeah, he's not.
He's
He's
definitely
not on the list.
No, I'm saying Rosenberg being named
yeah.
in the show.
Yeah,
it's definitely like on point because he's definitely critical.
Rosenberg's a legend. First hip hop podcast. I don't care what anybody says. They were first. So shout out to Beastie Boys for being pioneers. Any hip hop artist from back then will tell you how important Beastie Boys was. There's not a single Beastie Boys song that I like. I like Sabotage. But like I could never get into Beastie Boys. But shout to them for being legends. Shout to Third Base. Shout to, you know, Prime Minister Pete Nice and Search. You know, Search had a lot of battle rap history. I think Search kind of moves around funny for me, but you know, shout to them. And who the fuck is that? My whole list? Yeah, that's pretty much everybody that I thought of. Yeah, man.
I enjoyed this, man. This is good, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we knew everybody. I mean, besides I guess that's it. Everybody, we knew everybody. Nobody was strong.
Yeah, I didn't know that the one cat that you said from Atlanta. I'm not super.
Hip. Yeah, but
I'm not hip on him. But also I guess I would be remiss to not shout out all the dudes that I made music with in New York. All of them were white. All of them except for you know, a lot of them. So my man Type 2. I want to shout out Type 2. I want to shout out my man Juice. Juice did my first production, my first beats. Anytime I came downtown, you know, Juice gave me a couch to sleep on, a blunt to roll up, you know, a place to stay. Shout out to my man KG for being, you know, for just being a friend and giving me all the records that he gave me. Shout out to my man Gabe. We had the clique. The clique was called Old Souls. It was when all of us got together to rhyme. It was like 4 of us in a group. And Gabe, when you look back on it, Gabe was like the 5th member of Old Souls because it was all his beats that we touched on. And Gabe, incredibly talented producer. I just want to shout out all of my mans and them.
In that same lane, go ahead and shout out Gritty City Records.
Yeah, shout to Gritty.
They've been on a movement for a while. Like
they deserve it.
And actually, like I'm on from Baja days, and then 2-3 like a year or 2 later, they got a country tour. Like they're in Phoenix, they doing all this. So
Johnny Siggs, man, work incredibly hard. You know, obviously they were FanRan is plugged in with them. You know, working with them dudes work real hard, man. I gotta give them props for sure. Yeah, everyday wonders from New York City, man, downtown. Those are my guys for sure. And and there's I'm a be fucked up for not remembering these other cats. There was a group that rolled with Divine Prophets, but they wasn't in Divine Prophets. And I'm remembering, son, I remember his face, but I don't remember their name. He was a tatted up white dude. They was mad nice. And I'm forgetting who they was. But
R.I.P. Joe Threat, man.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch his maturation. He was definitely getting better with it, man. Real talk.
Yeah, shout out.
But yeah, man. Talking about rap. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Shout out to Priya, man.
Yeah, you're here, but in case you didn't know, Monday, recaps drop. Big plays, big moments, we talking about it all. Wednesdays, 4 for 10, rare combos from the flag field to behind the lens. Thursdays, cousins talking business, hustle, heart, and game plans. Saturday, we talking about rap, bars, beats, real hip-hop combos. Subscribe now. Content moving all week, and you don't want to miss none of it. Now, talking about